2.5, number 24. What happens when we reflect it over the x-axis? That's a working vertically. And so it has to be on the outside of this, not inside. And so we get y equals, and if it's a reflection, it's just that minus times the thing. And that's what the equation would look like. And I could graph it. I don't know if they asked for you to graph it, but the regular one goes here through 1, 1, and minus 1, minus 1, and 2, 8, minus 2, 8. And so we reflect it about there. It goes this way. (32). So on the graph, the point 1, 2, 3, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is on the graph. Now, if I take whatever this graph looks like, and this says the y's are not going to be with a negative x, so that's going to do a flip over the y-axis. X's become negative x's become plus, and so this point goes over to here. So it says which of these is on the graph? 6, 3, that's not it. 6, 6, negative 3, no. Is 3, negative 6 on it? No. Is negative 3, 6 on it? Yes. Alright, it says go through the transformations here. And there are two, something to the x working horizontally and something on the outside going up and down. We start with the parent function, which is the cube. 0 cubed 0, 1 cubed 1, 2 cubed 8, up there someplace. Negative 1, negative 1, negative 2, negative 8 down there someplace. So it looks something like that. If that's 1 and that's 1. I'll do the horizontal one. Minus 1 on the x moves it plus 1. Moved it plus 1 over. And then, so that would be y equals x minus 1 cubed. And now we're going to do plus 2, so it's going to be y equals x minus 1 cubed plus 2, which is just going to, it's on the outside, so it does exactly what it says, up 2. So this point that was at minus 1 goes up to there. The point that was on here is now up here, and the point at 2 is going to be up at 3, and it's going to go something like that. And 63, which we did in class, but I'll do it anyway because some people had some problem with it. This says y values add 3, so this just has to be drawn up 3. So instead of being down 2, it's up at 1. Instead of being up at 2, it's now up at 5. And instead of being at 2, it's at 2, 5. And instead of being at 4, 0, it's at 4, 3. And there's my units on the graph. This is plus 2 on the x, which is going to move it left 2. So this point that was at minus 4 minus 2 is now at minus 6 minus 2. The one that was at 2, 0 is moved left 2. The one that was at 2, 2 is moved to 0. And the one that's at 4, 0 is now at 2, 0. This says the reflection, it's on the outside, so it's y direction. So we're going to flip it over. So it's going to be, instead of 4, negative 2, it's going to be at plus 2. Instead of at 0, 2, it's going to be 0, negative 2. And then it's going to be at 2, negative 2. And at 4, 0. And now we got to do two things. Oh boy, more fun. So we got to do it, we got to move it. So that's plus, so it moves it -1. And then it's on the outside, so it does what it says, down 2. So there's no flipping on this, so we got -4 minus 2 gets moved -1 for that, and then down 2. So that's -5 -4. And the one that was at 0, 2 gets pushed to -1 from the +1 inside going opposite. On the outside we go what it says, down 2, which is there. And then it goes, the point that was at 2, 2 goes -1 and down 2. And the point that was at 4, 0 goes -1 and down 2. And that's where it's at. Half on the outside. So that works vertically, and since it's on the outside, it does exactly what it says. Half as far from the x-axis. So this one that was at -4, -2 is at -1. The one is at 0, 2 is half as far away at 1. The one that was at 2, 2 is half as far away from the x-axis at 1. And the one that was at 4, 0 stays right on the x-axis, and we get something that looks like that. This says negative on the inside, that's times it, so that does a flip in the x direction horizontally, so that just flips this over, so we get the 4, 0 becomes -4, 0, the 0, 2 flipped over the y stays right where it is. The 2, 2 goes to -2, 2, and the -4, -2 goes over to 4, -2. And finally, 2 times the x. So it's on the inside, so it works horizontally. Inside, so it does opposite, and so it'd be twice as wide. It's half as wide, half as far from the y-axis. So it was -4, -2. Half as far from the y-axis, it'd be -2, -2. If it was 0, 2, half as far from the y-axis, well, it's on the y-axis, so it's not going to move. 2, 2, half as far from the y-axis, it'd move it at 2, 1, 2. And 4, 0, half as far away, be at 2, 0. And that's 63.